We start the final chapter of this January 2021 trip. I'll tell you what day it is, but I'm really not quite sure. It must be around the 9th or 10th. I'll have to check my camera later to find out because I have no idea. I know it's a Sunday morning. That's doing pretty good. Kevin partner Jim he pulled out this morning on his way back to Illinois, and Jim's been here for over a week, and he's taken off now. I'm done working him. We got a good workout. He should pay me some extra though, because he had to cinch his belt in extra knots this morning. That's how hard we worked all this week. And then he announced to me this morning that this is his 70th birthday. So he's got about a 3-month jump on me is all. But a couple old codgers up and enjoying themselves in the woods.
Thanks, Bert.
All right. Old man, I say. Oh, things be a little quieter and different. Got a message from Bonnie last night that drone man David may pop in today with his drone to do a little playing. But that wasn't a positive. That was just a maybe. But I hope he shows up. We could do a little bit of creative work filming the Snowdog from the air. It's been really different having that Snowdog out there. We sure put it through its paces for packing down our trails, and as we found out, we just like walking around out in the woods more than we used to ski off all the here and there and everywhere. And as the years have gone by, we found out we're more content just to hang out closer to this area and just go out for a nice walk on a packed trail. The skis are kind of noisy and you can't spin around very well, but anyway, Snowdog worked really well for packing them down, and then with the weather we've had, they've become very hard and easy to walk on. But the big thing was the work of hauling those cabin logs that I was able to do with that Snowdog. I was very impressed with the way I could yank that big wood and haul it up here. Went a lot better than I ever would have imagined. So, But with Kev and Jim having pulled out this morning, I was sitting here and thinking, I'm not ready to go back home. Maybe another day extra. I was planning on going home tomorrow morning, but with all Jim moving stuff around and stuff, I called Vonnie and said, I can't find the shoe. I think she expected that call because she knew the weather is still good here and it's going to be good travel on the way home no matter when I leave. So she said she'd be fine. So one more, I'll leave here. I'll have all day tomorrow yet. Not sure what I'm going to do, but probably won't be much. And that'll be just fine. We've been hitting it pretty hard. I couldn't let that loaf of bread dough go to waste out there, even though there's nobody here to help me eat all these caramel rolls. Hot. We got this down pretty good now. Let that soak so easier doing the dishes later. Time to enjoy. Haven't had these since yesterday. Beautiful day to be out walking in this fantastic forest. Yeah, I got my logging shirt back from cabin partner Jim. I'm pretty generous, but I wasn't going to give him this shirt off my back. Starting to see a few deer tracks as I walk my trails. Here's several have used this trail, and kind of amazing how when they come back, I suppose they wander, they find an open trail and they just use it because not like they're always going to remember or even have ever been here before. Take a walk out on a beautiful day, and what should I come about such as this, out of my road. I hope he got a drone with him.
This is my road.
Yeah, he made the road. Oh, we gotta say, a few weeks ago, he made the road, came in, started a fire for me, shoveled my snow, so.
And it hasn't snowed since?
No, a little bit, but.
A little bit on your car there.
Maybe I don't know if he's in for fresh caramel rolls or not, but I might let him have one of those I made this morning.
I was going to make some last night and I didn't get around to it.
Well, then it's fate.
Yeah.
The first thing David and I did was we headed back to the cabin and had some of those rolls. Then we went out and we just passed over there. We checked out where we'd hauled all the logs out. That was kind of what was left. And now as you look at all this timber as we head west down the trail, all that brown trees, that's all tamarack trees that are all going to die. Well, and I want to do some more cutting and get some more timber, so I'll be taking some of them down on that trail. Well, David, he's flying off here. Well, okay, I mean, Hawks Pond is such a lure to him that that's where we're headed. We're headed out we're doing a direct route out to Hawks Pond. Now, with you can see in the wintertime, it kind of shows out these flowages and some of these wet areas so much better because you can see the snow down there. And my trails pass along the left-hand edge of this. Now you can see that opening up to our left on the top. That's Hawks Pond coming up. So keep your seatbelts fastened. We're coming in fast. So as we go here now, we're going over the center beaver pond that I call it sometimes, and you can see my trail on kind of on the edge of the water there. Well, I say water because you could tell there was slush on the one side of the pond, and the ice was sloping. So I checked it first before I went across, but it was all right. So we kept going, and on our trail that was no trouble as we came in and out, and that several times it never fell through, which was good. So now we're going out, and he's kind of veering off here, and it's Hawks Pond's right to the right here, but he's going to bank this little drone around a second here and give us a good shot. This is on the left hand there. That's one of the logging camp clearing, little beaver marsh. Now here we go. This is looking from the south, looking out onto Hawks Pond. Now the dam is along the edge of the green here. The bench I have there for taking a nap on, that's kind of in the center along below down there, and kind of the tracks you see down there. I took the Snowdog out there because I packed down a trail so we could get over right next to the bench. Now, Bill was saying last year that he was out there, and the beaver was pulling in food, so down under the ice, probably taking it easy, chewing on his wood. There is my big beavers hanging out. So then it was time to get to work. Now here we are. We decided that out in the open we could haul some rocks. I mean rocks, I mean boulders. So this is the first one heading for the cabin, and now as we come back, I'll be bringing it back, and I'll be loading up. Here we are. Now David's got the drone over my head. I'd pushed these rocks up onto, so they were dry, and I had stuff underneath them, but obviously they're frozen down a little bit, so it needs a little bit of persuasion, a little bit of whacking. All right, once or twice. All right, now it's wobbling. Now I can. These are some pretty good sized stones, I got to tell you. But we'd already hauled one, so I knew that the Snowdog and the sled would work out fine. So now as I get it situated so it doesn't roll around on me too much, and we're ready to take off. Drone man's got his drone over us. Well, I must not be quite satisfied yet. So okay, here we go. Start that engine up. I'd packed this track a few times so that we had that's the main thing. Sometimes when you get a frozen track, these things go so much better. But here was a tricky spot because I had to climb a few little humps there. Then I had to climb up on this steep beaver dam. So you can see how she slips a little bit to the side there, but no problem. And now we're off for a tour all the way to the cabin. At this point, we're 400 meters straight north of the cabin. And this is where, before I got my solar panels up in the air, this opening that we're going through right now, that's where I would bring my solar panels each winter, deep winter, and I would set them up out here so I could get the sun hitting them, from the south with those no trees and sparse trees. Now as we go along to the right of what here, you see it's fairly open, and that used to be very dense, but over the years I cut that as a wildlife opening, and then I go in there once in a while and I cut the brush out to keep it into a nice browse food situation. Then the trail tightens down a little bit, and as we come up here, we're going to come up onto another spot where I've cleared off an area, and I have a nice bench to the side. Now you can see that nice white snowy area there to the right. That was all dead, dying little forest, and over the years I trimmed it out and made a little wildlife clearing right there. And it was so wet in the spot we're coming up to here. I built a corduroy road. Right now I'm kind of I'm rattling along over the corduroy because it was a long stretch of wet, and I just got tired of getting my feet wet all the time. So I laid down the corduroy in that section there. This is a beautiful area going down between the cedar trees. Got just enough view that we can see this from the air. As we come up here, you see I'm going to
merge onto that dark trail, and that's where we hauled all those logs out all week and got some dirt stirred up in there, so it shows up a lot better now. I'm in the trench in the last little bit, heading up to the cabin yard. Now that we've made it back to the cabin, drone man David, well, he just can't resist. It's such a view when you get straight above the cabin, and you know, he's got the camera. It's pointed to the west. Now he's swinging around, and this is northwest, and the area you can see way out there, that's the top white part you see is Hawks Pond, and then we come around to now we're coming by the marsh where we were hauling those rocks out of. That's the snowy marsh you see there. That's where we were hauling the last boulders out of, and then on back. We get to the cabin, and of course there's still some caramel rolls left in there. Now look at this. This is hard to believe. Can you believe that? Well, I'm telling you, don't believe it. We're cheating here. The drone's props aren't really flying, but the drone is doing this filming, so it's just a good example of don't believe anything you see on YouTube. It was getting late in the afternoon, and so as soon as we got down there, David packed up everything in his sled and he took off, because his hopes were that as he drove out the forest roads and down the highway back toward home, that he'd find another one of these great gray owls. This is one he had photographed as he left from one of his previous visits to the cabin this trip.